Good morning and thank you so much for keeping it KTN News. This is News Center and my name is Grace Kuria. Now, police probing the Riverside attack have identified the suicide bomber who detonated himself at the attack site. Police said the now deceased 25-year-old was Mahir Khalid Riziki, who was born and brought up in Majengo area, Mombasa town. The youngster is said to have been recruited into Al-Shabaab by Ramadhan Hamisi Kufungwa, who is now operating alongside the terror group in Somalia. Mahir has been on the police radar for some time and is believed to have been involved in the killing of a police officer at Royal Court Hotel in October 2014. He later fled the country to Tanzania after police in Mombasa posted his photo in billboards as a wanted person. Mahir is said to have relocated to Somalia, where he was undergoing training by Al-Shabaab terror group. And still on the unfortunate Riverside attack, 6 suspects in the Riverside attack will spend 30 days in police custody as the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit concludes investigations into the terror attack that claimed the lives of 21 people. The 6 suspects, including a Canadian citizen, were arraigned before Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Mutuku on Friday and are believed to have aided the terrorists in one way or another. Akisa Wandera with more.
The 6 suspects are taxi drivers Joel Nganga Wainaina and Oliver Kanyago Muthe, Gladys Kari Justus, who's an M-Pesa agent in Maua, Meru County, Gulaid Abdi Hakim, a Canadian citizen, Osma Ibrahim, and Hussein Mohammed, who was arrested in Mandera. They are all believed to have facilitated the 5 attackers who unleashed terror on the 15th of January, killing 21 people and injuring several others. According to the prosecution, the 2 taxi drivers facilitated the attackers' movement within the city. They also told the court that the lady in custody was an M-Pesa agent who sent the attackers money on several occasions.
Your Honor, the 30 days are within the legal limits, as my colleague had pointed out.
According to the prosecution, the 2 taxi drivers, Joel Nganga and Oliver Kanyago, facilitated the attackers' movement within the city. They also told the court that the lady in custody, Gladys Kari Justus, was an M-Pesa agent who sent the attackers money on several occasions. Another suspect is said to have been seen in surveillance footage reviewed by investigators talking to one of the attackers at the Dusit D2 hotel. In an affidavit filed in court, Inspector Monica Gidaiga, the investigating officer, revealed that several gadgets were recovered from motor vehicle registration number KCN 340E, which the attackers are believed to have used in the execution of the attack. According to the affidavit, the items recovered in the vehicle include 2 mobile phones and only 1 SIM card. The police also recovered an extensively damaged laptop.
Submissions applicable to all the other respondents are also applicable to his case. Therefore, we request to pray this court to grant us 30 days so that the police may exhaustively carry out the investigations.
Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Mutuku granted the prosecution's request to hold the suspects for another month, directing that the suspects be detained at any station within Nairobi. The respondents are being investigated for several terrorism and related offences, including conspiracy to commit a terrorist act, provision of property and services for commission of terrorist act, and membership of a terrorist group contrary to the law. The case will be mentioned on the 18th of February 2019. Akisa Wandera, KTN News.
Now, of course, as a reaction to the unfortunate attack and being a conversation that has continued over time, now private security guards of specific cadres will now possess firearms while in their line of duty. According to the Director General of Private Security Regulatory Authority, Fazul Mohammed, the security guards will undergo an intensified training in the coming weeks. This is in an effort to equip them to be able to tackle attacks such as the Tuesday's terror attack at the 14 Riverside Drive, which unfortunately claimed the lives of 21. You are used to seeing them at various public places, and they inspect you, your car, and your other belongings. But every so often, whenever there is an attack at any of those places, they are usually the first to encounter the attackers or terrorists. Now, many usually ask, how do you fight a person with a firearm, where else you only have a button as your weapon? However, now in a few months that should come to an end if the words of Fazul Mohammed, the Director General Private Security Regulatory Authority, are anything to go by.
And the people who we are going to issue firearms to, they will be for specific purpose and for specific assignment. That includes those officers who guard, who provide security for key installations, especially where there is a lot of human traffic.
However, those guards will have to undergo intensive weeks of training.
Okay. No, what you do?
Now, the smile on their faces is also because Fazul's basket came with other goodies.
A very conservative estimate of your minimum wage, the extra hours that you work, and your housing allowance. And if we are going to issue you with a gun, we are also going to give you a responsibility allowance. Will come to almost 27,000 shillings. That will be the minimum wage that any security guard should be paid.
And now for the approximately 500,000 guards countrywide, the future looks bright.
We are properly trained and we are given the basic knowledge that is required to handle these firearms. Actually, we are going to protect our country, we are going to protect our citizens, and the cases of terrorism and these uhalifu wowote will be reduced at a very great percentage.
The issuance of firearms to specific cadres of the private security officers is definitely aimed at averting attacks such as that witnessed Tuesday at the 14 Riverside Drive and protecting the security officers as they protect you and I. To a different county now, the National Fund for the Disabled in Kenya has donated equipment worth 1.8 million shillings to benefit over 70 people living with disability in Busia County in an exercise aimed at improving their welfare. Busia Assistant County Commissioner, who officiated the event, while handing over the equipment, which includes machines for sewing, welding, salon carpentry and irrigation, warned beneficiaries against misusing or selling them instead of putting them into proper use to benefit them. Rose Nafula Nasimiyu of the National Council of People Living with Disabilities appealed to the county government to allow people living with disabilities to be exempted from paying taxes and also asked them to register their companies in order to secure tenders. Now, the beneficiaries promised to use the equipment to earn their own living rather than depend on others.
Tunaweza kusaidia watu jumla ya 72, na ukiangalia kwa siku ya leo idadi ya fedha ambazo serikali imetupatia kununua vifaa siku ya leo ni 1.8 million, na hivi vifaa zinatufanyia mbalimbali, kama tuna ile inaitwa kwa lugha ya Kimombo farming toolkit, tuna ile sewing machine, kuna wheelchair, kuna knitting machines, na pia kuna baba na kuna hair salon.
Hawa ni washikadau ambao tunafanya nao pamoja kuhakikisha kwamba walemavu wanapata haki zao na pia walemavu wanajisaidia kiuchumi. Pia tunataka wakuwe katika groups kwa sababu serikali haipeani watu individual funds.
Administrative challenges that they are getting on the ground, we are networking tuone ya kwamba they are satisfied. We deliver services equally to them.
Still in Busia County, residents of Nambomboto area in Funyula, Busia County have held demonstrations to protest failure by the county government to construct a modern market in the area, despite reports indicating that 3.6 million shillings had been set aside since 2016 for the project. The residents who marched to the area MCA's office says the county has failed to construct the market, and this has adversely affected their business growth. They have now threatened not to pay tax until the county honors its promise of constructing the market and putting up public toilets and dumping sites within the market.
Mahali pa kujengwa soko. Na hiyo mahali ni hapa mahali tumesimama. Mwenye hili shamba amelitoa, amekabidhi stakabadhi zote ambapo zinafaa ili soko lifanye nini? Linunuliwe, lijengwe.
Nasema hawana mahali pa kujenga soko. Sasa mimi nashangaa ile shamba yangu ambao niliwapeleka nikawapea. Wamenikoni au namna gani?
Tunataka kujua 3.5 million ya soko yenye ilipewana kwa soko kujengwa na Nambomboto ilienda wapi? Ikiwa soko haitajengwa mahali hapa, sisi kama wafanyabiashara hatutatoa ushuru. Kuanzia leo hatutoi ushuru.
Tunateseka sana, hakika tunateseka, na hiyo soko inatusaidia, tunapata kalamu, tunapata vitabu, tunalisha watoto wetu.
And the national government, in collaboration with the Matayos Constituency Office, has given 1 million Kenya shillings for funding the construction of the 2 classrooms at Bukalama Primary School. WHO's roofs had been blown out by heavy winds last year. Addressing the press at the school compound while issuing a 700 shillings check, Busia County Deputy County Commissioner Frederick Ayeko confirmed that the construction is set to resume soon to allow affected learners to resume learning.
Members wa Matayos Constituency Fund ambao tumeleta pesa 600,000 ambayo itatumika kurekebisha jengo hilo, na pia kuna pesa 400,000 ambayo bado iko katika treasury yetu ambayo itatumika kumaliza jengo hilo. Shilingi 600 ni ya kusaidia ule fundi ambayo tutapata kuanzisha ile jengo, alafu ile 400,000 wakati atapata kumaliza tutaweza kumlipa baada ya ofisi yetu ya Public Works kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo kazi ambayo bills of quantities zimetolewa imefanyika kwa njia ambayo ni nzuri.
And learners, teachers and parents of Gatete Primary School in Kiambere, Embu County have something to smile about after the school opened its first ever 2 permanent classrooms. The school, which is on the border of Embu and Kitui counties, has only been having muddy classrooms. Interestingly, the school administration had to toss a coin actually to determine which class would occupy the new classrooms, since all the learners in all the classes were claiming them.
Nimekubali kuifungua.
Madarasa matatu ikiwa hapa, wazazi hawa watakuwa wamefurahia. Tulianza na matope, sasa tunajaribu kupomoa hii, lakini hatuwezi kupomoa kwa sababu watoto wako ndani. Tulipata watoto wakitaka kungangania hii madarasa 2. Sasa tukarusha dini ili coin tossing ili tuone ni darasa gani itaingia hapa na hapa. Sababu kila mtoto alikuwa anataka kuingia.
Ukileta mtoto shule alafu anatoka before aingie class 8. Kwa sababu tunatakiwa tuhakikisha mtoto akiingia tunamchunga, na ni kazi yetu wazazi kuchunga mtoto, kuhakikisha amesoma mpaka mwisho.
Bado classroom pale haijaisha, na kwa sababu umefanya vizuri na ile pesa umepewa, tumeweka kwa budget ile inayokuja class 1 ya Gatete. Tumewapatia class nyingine. Na kwa hivyo karibuni tuta activate hii stima kwa hii shule iwake.
And back to the story that has made headlines throughout the week. Meanwhile, business leaders operating in Eastleigh area, together with political leaders there, have come out to condemn the Tuesday attack. And in a show of solidarity with the affected people, they closed their premises for 1 hour Friday to pay tribute to those who died in the terror attack. Now, Eastleigh area has been victim of terrorist attacks in the past.
Al-Shabaab ishindwe. Ishindwe. Mbona ni msinionyeshe kwa mkono mna hakika kabisa? Al-Shabaab ishindwe. Ishindwe. Al-Shabaab sio sisi. Al-Shabaab haituzungumzie sisi. Al-Shabaab haituwakilishi sisi. Hatukubali ideolojia mbovu ya mauaji ya Al-Shabaab. Na tunasimama pamoja na wananchi wengine wa Kenya.
We close all our shops today to stand with our Kenyans who we lost. We closed over 10,000 shops. It was very difficult for business people to close their shops, but we closed because of our Kenyans that we lost, that heinous act. Al-Shabaab has no, we do not support Al-Shabaab. They do not have support from this society, now and forever.
Sisi wakati wa Eastleigh ni wafanyabiashara na ni watu wanashughulika na mkate wao wa siku. Hawashughuliki na mambo mabaya katika sehemu hili letu la Eastleigh.
And the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has rolled out the process of replacing former IEBC Chief Executive Officer Ezra Chiloba. Chiloba was fired in October last year after he snubbed summons to appear before the Commission's disciplinary committee hearing relating to post-election spending audit. Now, if you're interested in replacing him, you have until the end of this month to apply.
In October last year, former IEBC boss Ezra Chiloba announced that he had been fired through a social media post titled "Announcing My Firing."
Exercise will continue. And
IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati sacked Chiloba after he allegedly failed on 2 occasions to appear before a disciplinary committee to answer to audit queries relating to major procurements in the August 8, 2017 general election, as well as the controversial repeat presidential election held on October 26, 2017. IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati had early 2018 suspended Chiloba to allow an internal audit. At that time, Chiloba explained he snubbed IEBC invitation to grill him on grounds that his suspension was based on stage-managed internal audit and failure to allow him to access evidence. Chiloba also complained that the 3 commissioners who voted to send him away were the same members of the disciplinary committee.
What I've done in this unique case, Mr. Chair, as well, is to provide a bit more for context on how we arrived at the decision to contract Oracle. And this is one case where it was discussed extensively, but the discussions were only happening outside the formal plenary meeting. Because the Auditor General says that we awarded tenders in 3 different ways. But I wanted to confirm that the tender on ballot papers was awarded only twice. One under open tender, which was nullified by the court. And the reason it was nullified by the court, they say that by the time I was signing that contract, there were no commissioners in office.
3 months after the sack, IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati has invited applications for Chiloba's replacement. Some of the requirements are that anyone who contested for or held an elective political position after 2014 is not eligible. The same applies to persons who have been members of governing bodies of political parties or groups affiliated to political parties in the last 5 years. Any individual adversely mentioned in any report by a commission of inquiry and or is either charged in court or is undergoing investigation by any statutory agency is not eligible. Applicants must also be citizens of Kenya and hold a degree from a recognized university. Apart from getting clearance from various investigative and revenue collection agencies, shortlisted candidates may be subjected to a security clearance by National Intelligence Service, NIS. Deadline for applications is 31st January 2019 at 5 p.m. IEBC Chief Executive Officer shall hold office for a term of 5 years, but shall be eligible for reappointment for one further term of 5 years, subject to satisfactory performance. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
And the AU High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, Raila Odinga, has launched a 70-meter dredging vessel that will start the process of dredging the Kisumu port and waterways connecting the port and other ports on the Kenyan side of Lake Victoria. Now the dredger will start operating after 3 months. KTN's Kevin Ogutu with that story.
It was a tour whose mission was clearly spelled out. This delegation, led by ODM leader Raila Odinga, was here to be part of the solution to the slump in maritime transport across Lake Victoria. It is a venture that was once profitable until the water hyacinth invasion, and now those in marine transport are crying foul.
Tumia nusu saa kutoka pale Usoma mpaka kufika hapa bandarini. Ningetumia only 20 liters za mafuta. Lakini nilichukua 7 hours. Kutoka pale only maili 2, hebu ingilia maili 2 mpaka 3. Nimetumia masaa 7 mpaka kufika kwa bandari kwa ajili ya resistance ya magugu maji.
And it is for this reason that the towering dredger has been brought to bring back the lost business across Lake Victoria.
Determined to ensure that this water hyacinth menace is a thing of the past. And it's not going to be done only in Kisumu. We'll do it in Hindu Bay, we'll do it in Hindu Bay, Homa Bay, Asembo Bay, Karungu Bay, Mehuru Bay, South Bay, Kompiata Bay, Kadimu Bay, Port Victoria, and Seaport.
Uganda Minister of State for Transport Henry Bagire was present. According to him, Kenya has lost a lot since hyacinth invasion.
Tourists used to come from Mombasa, come here by rail, go to Mwanza, go to Bukoba, go to Musoma, go to Portobello, to Jinja, and back here. That statute is gone.
He says not long ago, Uganda was in the same trouble.
In Uganda, we had a similar problem, a very big problem. And our ports like Portobello, at one time, was totally closed off. But with efforts of this nature, today we have not totally controlled, but we have fairly controlled the water hyacinth. It's no longer a very big mess, and we have started on the journey.
The water hyacinth has been a thorn in the flesh, particularly for local fishermen, who have occasionally been locked by the weed in the lake. And now the county governments neighboring the lake are gearing towards a lasting solution.
Hyacinth has denied us our economic well-being. And now that this has been championed by the former Prime Minister, and we can now see we are having a long-lasting solution.
We will have to work closely with other actors, especially current businesses along the lake, including clubs. And we have in mind Nyanza, golf, and yacht clubs.
Kevin Ogutu, KTN News, Kisumu.
And now to some international news. The UN Human Rights Office spokeswoman Ravina Shamdasan on Friday called for an end to Zimbabwe's crackdown against protesters and excessive use of force by security forces, including firing live ammunition. Addressing journalists, Shamdasan also urged the government to restore internet.
The use of live ammunition by security forces was used. Excessive force was used. We don't have verification of the exact number of people who were killed or injured, but there are doctors' associations that are putting numbers out there, like more than 60 people were treated in hospitals for gunshot wounds. This is not the way to react to the expression of economic grievances by the population.
And still in Zimbabwe now, human rights lawyers and opposition in Zimbabwe say President Emerson Mnangagwa's government is failing to respect citizens' rights by responding to protests with brutality. Security forces have arrested a prominent political activist.
Police and army vehicles patrolled the streets of Harare as Zimbabwe's protests over 150% fuel hike entered its third day Wednesday. Armed police surrounded the home of pastor and political activist Ivan Mawarine before arresting him.
They are alleging that he has incited violence through Twitter and other forms of social media, particularly in the Central Business District. We've asked for full particulars, when, how. They say they don't know. They'll give that to him at the police station. We've asked how asking for people to stay away can constitute incitement to violence.
President Emerson Mnangagwa's government, which succeeded Robert Mugabe's decades-long rule in 2017, pledged to respect human rights and revive Zimbabwe's moribund economy. More than a year later, critics still accuse the government of being heavy-handed with protesters.
It is everyone's right under the Zimbabwean Constitution and Universal Declaration of Human Rights to be able to express themselves in any manner they see fit. But we ask the security forces not to be excessive in their response to people exercising their freedom. Loss of life must be avoided at all costs, in particular Zimbabwean life. The solution is there. The solution is dialogue.
Zimbabwean authorities blocked the internet on Tuesday, saying citizens were using social media to spread information about the three-day strike. President Mnangagwa is in Russia as part of a five-nation visit, which ends after he attends the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, later this month.
The president urgently needs to be in this country. Other presidents who have similar issues, the president of France, the president of America, did not go to Davos. And those are the biggest economies. Those are the ones that have the money. Our fragile economy cannot afford a luxurious trip by the president to countries that I can't even pronounce, to countries that I didn't know until they said they were going there existed on the map.
But some in the capital agree with the president's move to increase fuel prices and quell protests.
I was not happy about the protests destroying properties. It was not good. They should have done it peacefully. The way I see it, in the African region, fuel was cheapest here, so the measures he has taken are meant to be at par with the region's fuel prices. I do not see that as wrong.
More than 200 protesters have been brought to court on charges of violence, and more are expected on Thursday.
Well, that's all we had for now. Thank you so much for staying with us on News Center. Do keep it KTN News. My name is Grace Correa.